A shout out to Javi. We are going to review our test today. Okay, we are going to start with page 1. Remember that this is 30 points on your test. It is due tomorrow. You may use it on your test. Okay, so the more information you put on here, the better. I went ahead and gave you a clue. When you add and subtract rationals, if the denominators are the same, then you just add and subtract the numerators. Okay, so let's look at number 1. Are my denominators the same? Yep. So all we need to do is we're going to keep the denominator the same and add the numerators. So which one's the numerator? Yeah, the top, 18 minus 35. And what is 18 minus 35? You have nice fancy calculators now, right? So make sure you take care of those, okay? What is 18 minus 35? Jacob, what are you doing? Do not be writing. I'm going to put this real quickly. Minus 35 is, you guys told me, negative 17. Very good. And your final answer is negative 17 over 2x minus 4. Good job. When the denominators are the same, it's very easy to add or subtract fractions. Okay, let's look at the second one. Are my denominators the same? Yeah, so all you're going to do is add the numerators. So 2x squared plus 6x minus 3x minus 8 all over 5x plus 4. Okay, you're going to combine like terms. What is negative 1 times 3x? What's a negative times 3x? Okay, thank you. Negative 3x. Negative 1 times a negative 8?
Negative 1 times a negative 8.
Negative times a negative is a positive 8. There you go. Okay, we're just beginning, so we're a little rusty right now. 5x plus 4. Okay, my denominator stayed the same, and all I did was add the numerators. Okay, so now you look at the numerator. What can I combine that's the same? Okay, can I add 2x squared to anything? No, because it needs another 2x squared. And then Javi said good. 6x minus 3x is 3x, good. And then at the very end, plus 8. All over 5x plus 4. Questions on this? Went ahead and I included 3 examples of how to add and subtract fractions, okay? I included one with same denominators, 2 with same denominators, and 1 with a different denominator. So if you look at the first example, I have to figure out how can I rewrite my function so that it has a common denominator. And if you notice, what's 4 times 3? 12. And 4 plus 3?
7.
Is 7. So you get your original function back. Okay? So you're going to multiply each of your fractions times the opposite of what you see. So I multiply the numerator and the denominator by the missing factors, and then you keep the first one the same. Okay? And then after that, you add or subtract. Okay? So it's a lot of work in between. I'm not too worried about it because I'm going to show you guys one. Okay? 8 plus x squared plus 2x minus 3, negative 4x plus 16, and then you got to combine like terms. So very similar to the problem we just did, except it's a little bit more intense, okay? So you have to ask yourself for the next question. How can I rewrite x minus 5 so that it looks like x squared minus 3x minus 10? Yeah, exactly. We're going to multiply the times the other denominator. So I'm going to rewrite 2x squared minus 3 over x squared minus 3x minus 10. Okay, I'm going to leave that the same. Plus 4x plus 4 over x minus 5. And just make your fraction a little bit longer. Minus 5 over x plus 2. So all I did basically was rewrite the whole function, but I'm going to add the common denominator. Okay? So what can I multiply x minus 5 by to get x squared minus 3x minus 10? You're going to multiply by the opposite, which is x plus 2. You guys see that? So now what do I multiply x plus 2 by to make it look like this one? X minus 5. Not 3, but 5. Okay, so you have x minus 5, x plus 2, x minus 5, x plus 2. And this, if I were to factor it, guess what it factors to? Yep. What are the factors of negative 10? 5 times 2. So that one of them equals to negative 3. Okay, so I rewrote each of my fractions so that they're the same denominator. Questions on that? No? Okay. So now we need to distribute, okay? This is where it gets a little bit tricky. We have 2x squared minus 3 plus, do you guys remember how to FOIL? Okay, so let's FOIL. What's 4x times x? 4x squared. 4x times 2? 8x, good. 4 times x? 4x, and then 4 times 2 is 8. So 8x plus 8. Oh man, I'm going to run out of room. I ran out of space, so I'm just adding another sheet of paper, okay? And then you need to multiply negative 5 times x times negative 5. Okay, stop, yes. Yeah, I made a mistake, guys. This should be a 4x, not an 8x, okay? Negative 5 times x is? Negative 5x, and negative 5 times a negative 5 is a positive 25. This is a super long numerator, okay? This is probably as difficult as it's going to get, okay? You guys can do this. You're going to keep the denominator the same. And now I'm just going to combine the like terms. That's one whole fraction, yeah. Because think about it, I combined 1, 2, 3 fractions all together in one, because now they have the common denominator. Okay? Can I combine the 2x squared with anything? 4x squared, good. What is 2x squared plus 4x squared? 6x squared, good. Then, what's next? Okay, 8x, 4x, and negative 5x. So what is 8x plus 4x? No, 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 minus 5 is? 7. Yeah, 7. Minus 7x, and then finally at the end, what do we have left over? We have a minus 3 plus 8 plus 25. 8 minus 3 is 5, and 25 plus 5 is 30. And that's it. That's you combining all of your like terms. Okay, just small correction. This should be a plus 7x. When you add 8x plus 4x, you get 12x minus 5x gives you a positive 7x. Okay, this is combining everything that you've learned. Okay, it is combining factoring, it's combining common denominators, FOILing, and adding and subtracting like terms. Okay, recording again. Ready? So I want to know how I can rewrite 10x plus 15 as 2x plus 3. So what do I need to multiply 2x plus 3 by to get 10x plus 15?
By 5.
Times 5, good. So you're going to multiply the top and the bottom by 5.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, then you look at the next fraction. What can I multiply 5 by to get 10x plus 15? 2x plus 3, right? And then you do it the same to the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
So now when you multiply these together, 5 times 2 gives you 10x, and 5 times 3 gives you 15. So now I have a common denominator for all of them, which is just 2x plus 3 times 5, or you can write it as 10x plus 15. So now I have to distribute times each of my terms. What's 5 times x squared is 5x squared. 2 times x gives you 2x squared. And 3 times x gives you 3x. Good. And then you're going to subtract 4x, and you're going to subtract 7. Now you combine the terms that are the same. 5x squared plus 2x squared equals 2. 5 plus 2?
Oh.
7x squared. Good. And then 3x minus 4x.
1.
Positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. Good. And then you just have a negative 7 left over. All of this over the denominator of 2x plus 3 over 5. This is exactly what we did in the previous problem, okay, except this one it was a little bit easier, okay? But if you can do the first one, you can definitely do the second one, right? Today. All right, guys, this next section is in the previous video, okay? So watch video for this section. Let's go ahead and turn to the back. Let's look at divide the following rational expression and simplify, okay? This is something I didn't cover in the last video, which is dividing. When you divide fractions, for example, if I divided 1/2 by 3/4, I would have to multiply times the reciprocal. Okay, so that's the same thing we're going to do here. We're going to leave the first fraction the same, but we're going to multiply times the reciprocal. So I'm going to flip the second fraction over, and I'm going to change my division sign to multiplication. When you have this, it makes our life really easy because now we can factor. I can factor x minus 4 or x minus 5, so I'm going to leave that the same. But I can factor x squared minus x minus 12 using the CB table. Okay, if you look at your first trinomial, what is the value of c?
12.
Good, negative 12, and b? Negative 1. Good. What numbers can I multiply together to get 12? Okay, 6 times 2 and 4 times 3, right? 4 times 3 gives me 12, but I need one of them to be negative. So I'm going to make my negative 4 times a positive 3 gives you negative 12, and negative 4 plus 3 ends up equaling negative 1. So remember I told you guys about my uncle, you keep your x's in different places. Okay, you separate them into different houses, and then you're going to put in your factors, x minus 4 and then x plus 3. If you notice, there's something the same in the numerator and the denominator, which is awesome. That's what we want. Okay, and then what can I factor out of 2 and 6? A 2, good, and you're left with x plus 3. What can I cancel? X plus 3 from the top and the bottom. What else? X minus 4. And then at the very end, you're just left with x minus 5 over 2.
Oh, that's it? Oh.
Yes, you only flip the second fraction. Okay, I'm going to record another video so that we could finish the end of this because it's about to end. Okay, I got 30 seconds left.